What's up, everybody? It's been a while, but I'm back. Um, Happy to be back. I've been a little busy these few weeks, but I decided to come back. Just had some ideas on my mind. So this episode is gonna be about lessons I've learned, basically. Um, I don't really know, just things I've learned as I've gotten older and stuff. But I'm gonna just recap on what's been happening these few weeks. I just like updating you guys. First off, if you see this up here in the corner, it's Mr. Braxton Miller. And right here I have Ted Ginn. But if you see it, signed. I had to meet Ted Ginn Jr. and Braxton Miller. Pretty awesome experience, I can't lie. It was day before Thanksgiving. And that was pretty freaking cool. I got a lot of stuff signed. You can't see it here, but I have a signed jersey by Ted Ginn as well, next to the one I got originally signed by Braxton. So I met Braxton the second time. And yeah, I also had Thanksgiving with my family. That was pretty epic. Watched some football, ate some very good food. That Thanksgiving ham, always the best. And some mac and cheese. Absolutely the best. And I had it with my grandma and my granny. It's pretty legit. Pretty legit. Just a lot of football and a lot of food, in my opinion, is what mostly happened. But let's see. Karaoke got a little wild there at the end. That was fun. With my grandma and my cousins and everybody. That was fun. I kind of had the idea, so I kind of went crazy on karaoke. But you cannot see the evidence, by the way. I'm not showing you. I did good, but I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to give myself away. But Thanksgiving, that was cool. It's already December. Let's talk about that. It is December 10th as this is being filmed. 3 days. John Cena has his retirement match. I'm not going to go too deep on it. I don't want to talk about it personally. I'm going to cry my eyes out. No, you can't see evidence of that either, but that sucks. Not too happy with it, but it happens. Life happens. Ohio State beat Michigan. Finally, that was awesome. That happened. That was already a while ago. It feels like yesterday. Fortnite got Marty McFly, my all-time favorite movie character. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been playing recently, but I did get Marty, of course, I had to. So I've been using him like crazy in that game. I haven't really played a whole lot of games, now I think about it, but I've been watching some Christmas movies, getting excited. Christmas, my favorite holiday. Big Christmas guy. I know I'm old and, well, not old, but I know I'm older and, things get revealed once you get older, but I still find Christmas very, very exciting. I'm very excited for this year. Yeah. Just got my gifts for my family, got Christmas shopping done. Pretty excited to see their reactions. I'm not going to tell you on here because they watch it, but I'm excited to show them that. What else has happened? There's been a lot. Well, this weekend was pretty crazy. I was at my brother's basketball game. He ended up winning one of the two. Congrats, Dylan. We're proud of you. But later that day, my friend asked, "You want to come to my house later?" So actually, I already had plans. I was going to Cleveland on Sunday to go see the Browns play the Tennessee Titans. I already forgot, and I was there last weekend. But, well, this last, I meant. But, so I'm begging my mom. I'm going to be honest, this is one of the lessons. I don't have a lot of huge friends. Like, I don't have a lot of close friends in my life. But I don't get invited to a whole lot, personally. Not something I'm complaining about. It's just life. So there's a life lesson in there for you. But my friend Andrew invites me over, and I'm like, holy crap, I gotta go to this. He's a big UFC guy, so we were gonna watch UFC. So I went over there. By the way, I have to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to Cleveland. And this was the wildest night. I won't share some of the stuff. This night's special to us, and, it's kind of just a Actually, my friend Max ended up coming over too. Shout out to him. We ended up having an epic night. I'll bring up that we had a pillow fight at 1 in the morning. That was pretty legit. It got a little physical, but yeah. So we ended up staying up till about 3 in the morning. I didn't technically fall asleep. I kind of just closed my eyes and sat there, so I didn't really sleep. But let's talk about the Browns game. As much as I don't want to, let's talk about it. Shedeur Sanders, you are absolutely the greatest player. I love Shedeur Sanders. Clap it up. Shedeur Sanders is freaking awesome. That was awesome. He had 364 yards and 4 total touchdowns. It's ridiculous. This man's a rookie. I think the Browns found their quarterback. What a great game. But at the same time, how do we lose to the Titans? They have 2 wins. They have 2. Another life lesson. Don't be a Browns fan. It sucks. But that was my last episode, so I'm not going to sit here and complain about the Browns the whole time again. But what are we doing? 2-point conversion. We're down by a touchdown now. We could have tied the game if we made the extra point, and then we ended up scoring another touchdown. What are we doing? Quinshon Judkins playing quarterback, and what is happening? Tommy Rees, respectfully, you can't play call to save your life. And I mean this in a respectful way. Everyone wants to blame Stefanski. I don't care. It's not his fault. Stefanski's a great coach. 2-time coach of the year. He's not the one play calling. That's all I got to say. But I'll move on from that because I could go on a whole rant. But I traveled to Cleveland in the pouring snow all over me. It was freezing. I walk out of Cleveland Stadium. Angry look on my face. I actually was going to keep it, my reaction to put on here, but it doesn't matter. You can probably imagine. Great weekend, but unfortunate. It is almost Christmas, so it's been kind of a crazy couple of weeks, just, preparing for Christmas, getting out of school. Yeah. You can see here, cut my sideburns. They were getting really long. I think they were down to, feels like right here. Yeah, but I think it looks okay. Let me know. I've been told it looks good. They were just getting long, and I just decided to cut them. I think that's all so far. I guess the Sharon Moore news, that is a little bit crazy. Didn't quite see that one coming. But, yeah. I won't talk about it because I don't want to get canceled on YouTube for talking about bad situations. But it did happen. It's real time. But, yeah, that's my life. It's been wild, but let's see. So I'm just going to talk about life lessons, as I said. Just basically stuff I've learned as I've grown up. And, as I was talking about just a few minutes ago, I don't have a lot of close friends, I'll be honest. Just growing up, I did. But not everybody is the same always as they will be in the future. And I'm not pointing fingers. That's not what we do here. I'm not disrespectful to people because it's not how you do things. I'm not saying people's names. I'm not even hating on people because I don't do that. But, some people change and you think differently and it happens. But, yeah, I had a big group of friends a couple of years back and it just kind of ended one day and I was, I'll be honest, it sucked. I was felt like I was kind of lonely. I wasn't lonely, but it did kind of feel like it. And it wasn't very easy. Yeah, that was, I don't want to reflect on bad times, but that was rough. I've lost probably more friends now than I've ever had friends. Just, not even because they hated me, just we don't talk anymore and people move on. I understand. It happens, But I've learned also that, it's okay to only have a few close friends. That's how I like it. I don't like being in big groups of people because it always feels like I'm the one walking behind people and people are ignoring me. Maybe that's not the case, but sometimes it felt like that. And, you know, so I try and keep minimum of 3 people usually. Just my opinion. Um, that doesn't mean I'll never hang out in groups, but it's very common I won't. I just think it's okay to have a few. Just like I did the other night. That was one of the best nights I've ever had. Um, yeah. So that did suck. It did, but I've kind of gotten used to it now. I do have some new friends in my new school and everything. I don't know how long we'll be friends because I'll be in college a couple years. They'll be in their own path, but it happens. I'm not gonna complain. I'm happy with what I have right now, and I feel like I'm being treated better than I ever have. Um, so I'm happy. Speaking of happy, better days come when you have rough times. The storm is smaller. Like, I'm trying to think of a good way to say it, but the storm you are facing, your passion is bigger than the storm you are facing. You know, I've never been a really big guy to have depression or like really be in bad thoughts, but I have had rough times. Where I don't want to get up in the morning. I don't want to talk to people. It's not really fun to have those problems, but they happen. Um, every once in a while, I'm always having these random mood swings where I'm happy one day and I'm angry one day, but it happens. Um, I'll just be in school and I'll be upset, but people always be there to cheer me up, which is nice to have. It really is. Make sure you remember your important people forever because, they didn't have to be there. That's what I think is they didn't have to waste their time on me, but they did because they wanted to. So I think about that. Um, I said about school. I'll be honest, I'm not really the smartest guy, and I'll say that sometimes. Uh, I'm not calling myself dumb, but there's smarter people out there than me, and sometimes people would make fun of me for my intelligence, and I'd kind of let it get to me, but now I don't. Because, like, I know I'm smart in many ways, just not book smart or other ways people are. And sometimes people like to use their intelligence against you, but, um, you know, really, they're not going to care about your intelligence in 10 years. If I always say if I become rich and famous, they'll not ask about my intelligence. I'm hoping one day, but I'm not hoping on the rich part. More, not even the famous part. I mean, if I could get big bucks, that'd be awesome. But you know, my passion is more to me than money and fame. Fame is definitely last. Like if I do become famous, I'm gonna act like Adam Sandler, because that dude I've said is one of my favorite. Well, one of my favorite people, but easily my favorite actor. He walks around wearing a Superman shirt and red shorts down to his knees, with probably Grinch socks on. It's awesome. I wish I could do that in my everyday life, but people are mean. I mean, I don't care what people think. That's also another thing is, if I'm happy, screw people. Respectfully, screw people, because you will hate on me for literally just being happy. Because I'm a happy guy, usually am. And people will ruin my day for being me, but now I don't let that. I used to, but yeah. But I think I don't give myself enough credit sometimes because I don't think I'm that stupid or that dumb because I can comprehend things. I'm not illiterate. I'm not the greatest at math, but I can do math, especially algebra. Geometry was a struggle for me, but that shapes and stuff, that's just not my strong suit. But it doesn't make me like dumb and stupid. Even though I call myself that sometimes, but I've been told to stop calling myself that, so I'm trying to get better. you know, Mr. on my podcast, when she was on it, she's like, you gotta stop calling yourself dumb and an idiot. But I'm trying to do better with that because I'm not necessarily an idiot. Well, sometimes I'll act like it, but I'm not illiterate. I'm not I mean, there isn't dumb people out there, just the ones who want to be dumb and decide not to give themselves an education and, waste their time. The ones sleeping in class and, the ones that don't care. But if you care, and everyone fails. I fail probably more than I do good things, but, that doesn't mean, I'm a failure. Just failures lead to successes. Sorry, I'm saying a lot, but I can't think of this stuff at the top of my head all the time, but I'm pretty good at it. Just sometimes it takes me a second. But, I've never had the best grades in school. Like, my grades aren't bad, but they're not the best. But I always pass. I just, don't have the best passing grades, but, as long as I pass and get somewhere because, I want to get to college and have a good career, that's my hope. It's possible. That's the thing is, like, people will always, like, try and make you feel like you're a nobody, but you're not. You really are special and here for a reason because I'm here. And, I've seen many better things happen to other people than me. I've seen people do better things than me, and then they're out here calling themselves mistakes and stuff. You're not a mistake. First of all, God doesn't really make mistakes. Well, he does, but he doesn't create mistakes. He makes you different like that for a reason. So if you're in there telling yourself, I'm different, that's good. So here's another lesson for you. But being different, I'm telling you, if I was the weirdest kid in my school, which I don't necessarily think I am, but if I was, I'd be fine with that. As long as I'm happy, I would be fine with that. I really, really do enjoy the stuff I like, and I'm not going to let people destroy that because it's weird and different. I talk about wrestling with my friend in school all the time. People probably think we're weird watching it all the time, but I don't really care. I enjoy it, and people are probably going to go off on me, but I don't care, really. The fact is, I could really care less. Megan Maroney once said, if I couldn't care more, you couldn't care more, I couldn't care less. I messed that up, but shout out Megan. She has her new tour and album coming out. That's some new news. I'm very excited. Hoping to go on that tour. I probably will. Sorry, I know I'm interrupting my lessons, but Megan is important. But Megan Maroney 3 is coming out February 20th. Very excited. Ben, let me know. We got to do an album review. That'd be awesome. But I'll get back to it. I really strive to just not care what people think. I'm not going to, but I've actually been thinking about taking a break from social media. I see a lot of negative stuff on there, and I just don't get a lot of notifications, so I just think it's useless. But I'm not going to take a break because that's where people can contact me, and I understand. But I'm trying to make social media not a priority because it kind of brainwashes me into thinking I'm doing things wrong and, I don't have any friends, but that's not true. Let's see. I'm trying to think here. Also, don't strive your life to just get girls all the time. I've never really done that before, but I'm just giving advice to people, just so they don't know, or so they know that, I'll be honest, I'm always hunting, not hunting, but looking around, trying to find the right person, but, when the time is right, it'll happen. Unfortunately, still single of 3 years now. It sucks, but There's a lot of beautiful girls out there, but not always the most beautiful hearts, but that can be us gentlemen too. So I'm not going to sit here and act like all girls are terrible because a lot of us boys are even worse. But, I'm always on the lookout for a girlfriend, but it's not necessarily, I'm not desperate. But it'd be cool. It'd be cool. Once again, single of 3 years, so you're talking to the right guy. My cousin said to do a dating advice episode. No advice, man. I'm single. Yeah. Let's see. My friend Max posted something on his story I really liked. He said, "Don't spread lies about people. Not necessarily something I do, but some other people do. Just respect people's privacy. I understand people do crazy stuff. Rumors spread, but that doesn't always mean they're true. Even if they are, just respect someone's privacy. It doesn't need to be spread across the school, make them act like a terrible person. I've had rumors spread about me before. It's not fun. It's really not. Um, you know, most of them definitely that I can think of weren't true, but it spread across everywhere. I don't condone cheating. I think I've had cheating rumors before. I've never cheated, never even tried to, never even thought about it because that's not how things work in my life. I have a married mom with my dad, and I know they wouldn't do that because loving family, and I've just always seen cheating as something that's awful. Um, I don't want to get into specifics here, but I think I had that spread. I mean, it was a long time ago, and people were immature. I understand, but yeah, I don't condone that at all. Not at all. Cheating, uh, you know, any of that stuff that relates to that. Not at all. Because I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. No matter what. No situation. Something else I would never do is drinking, smoking, or drugs. And I am proud to say of 17 years, I've never had a sip of alcohol. I've never done any drugs. I've never smoked. I've never vaped. None of it. And I never plan on doing any of that. The closest I'll ever get to any of those is alcohol. But if I do ever have alcohol, it's not going to be a thing. It'll be very, very uncommon. I really, really I think it's all dangerous. I understand it's not going to always kill you and stuff, but the risks have always scared me. And that's actually a fear I have is, losing people to that stuff because it's happened. Not to bring up sad examples, but Dwayne Haskins was intoxicated when he passed away. That actually really set off my idea of being sober for my whole life. But I'm not lying about that. I've never had any, and I don't want to. I really don't. People are like, "Nah, you will when you're older." It's not really a thought for me. I know it's a couple years away now, but no. And some universities are party schools. I don't plan to party. I plan to study and get work done, what I'm supposed to do. Because, that's my idea of college, not partying and crazy stuff. I support other people doing what they want in college, living that college life. I understand. I mean, I'll go to parties, but not crazy ones where they go nuts and everybody gets called the cops on, and I don't want that to happen. I really don't. I've heard there's sometimes concerts there. I'm a big concert guy. Have I posted since I went to Riley Green? I don't think I have. I saw Riley Green in concert. Very awesome. I might have shared that already, but that was cool. I love Riley Green. Great guy. Great in concert, too. I saw Jamie Johnson. I'll be honest. Great artist. Great. Absolutely fantastic. Put on a great show. But I hadn't slept that much that day, and his music is very slow. So I was having trouble staying awake. So I had my mom go get me a Diet Coke so I could stay awake. Coke always helps me stay awake at concerts. I've had that happen with a few concerts and games and all that. But I saw Drake White, I think his name was, and Hannah McFarlane. She was cute, but we'll move on from that. But I got to see all them. I'm mad though. I went home early, and he brought out all three of those people to play Dixieland Delight, which at the time I didn't really listen to, but I've listened to every day since the day after that concert, I think, which was like November, exactly a month ago, I think. Jeez, that was already like a month. It's been a crazy year, man. It's been a crazy year. Still happening too. But, oh man. But I've been listening to a lot of old country music lately. I don't know why. A lot of stuff from the 70s, surprisingly, I've been getting on. I like it a lot. That's besides the point, but we were talking about Dixieland Delight. Alabama is my grandma's favorite band, so I've been trying to feel like my grandma, love her to death. But we got Christmas coming up with the family. Always support your family. That's another lesson. I hope my family knows, and I think they probably already do, that I will support my family till death, till I can't physically support them. I'll fight for my family. I'll go the limits for my family always. My cousins, my grandma, my dog, even my dog, my brother, my mom, my dad, all of them. I'll go to the limits for any day. Any day I think about them all the time. So my list is always put God first. God bless. The Holy Spirit always first. The only reason I'd be here is because of the Holy Spirit. He's the reason. He's my reason. And I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him. Family, 2, and friends. That's my top 3. God, family, and friends, always. That's just how you gotta live. I'm not the biggest religious person personally, but I do believe in God, and I do believe He's really changed my life and saved my life. So I always believe in Him. I've seen a lot of bad things in my life. I'm lucky to not have a bad life, as bad of life as some people, but I'll be honest, up until a couple years ago, it was pretty rough. We had our ups and downs, but we figured it out. But I couldn't have done that without Jesus. For sure. Speaking of past, I just keep rolling on ideas here. Don't judge other people for their past lives, especially when yours could be even worse than theirs. You never know. I don't like talking about my past because I don't really like to go on my old self, because I didn't really like the way I acted and all the things I did. And I'm not saying I was a terrible person or anything, but I do feel like I wasn't a great person. But I just don't like to bring it up. But it's on the topic here, so I gotta talk about it. But really, don't judge people. Not even just for their past. Just don't judge people. I won't judge a person because, I personally have gone through things and I've done stupid crap. So I won't judge. I'll listen to the story, even if I don't support the things they did. I'm here to listen. That's the thing is, you can talk to me about anything, and I don't care if it's bad, very bad. I still want to listen and make sure everything's okay, and I can help you change that, and and help you understand that it's all gonna be all right, even if you do something very, very bad. I mean, if you kill somebody, that's a little different, I'll be honest, but let's not go there. But I don't judge. I probably used to, but now I'm just like, I can't judge. I'm not perfect, because no one's perfect. Literally nobody. Not even Jesus was perfect. Absolutely the closest person to perfect, but that's the thing I use as an example. Is he made mistakes, but everyone loves Jesus. He's awesome. Um, yeah. So I don't judge. I probably used to, but I just think about it and I know I'm imperfect, but so is everyone else. So give them their privacy. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Because if you treat someone like a D-bag, they're going to treat you like a D-bag. And I've really, really condoned that. Really, really condoned that in my life. I've really taken that. I've had that happen a lot. I'll make fun of people, but like I'm not actually making fun of them. I'm just joking around. But unfortunately, in past and now, sometimes people don't realize I'm joking. I'm not actually that mad to the point where some girls in my class, we were just messing around, and I was giving them a death stare for like a week, and they thought I was actually mad. I was just playing along with the joke, but unfortunately, they apologized. I said, "What? I wasn't. I was joking." But not everybody realizes that, and I've tried to get better with that. But I'm not a mean person. I'm not. I have a really big RBF. I'm not gonna say what that stands for. You can look it up on Google. But I'll be sitting in class. I'll be going, but I'm not mad. That's just my rest face. I don't really. I mean, I get mad about things, but like not really with people that much. Not to the point where I'm gonna death stare you. So if you meet me and you're just like, oh, that guy seems really mean. I'm really not. I'm actually really open with things and open to talk about things and really don't judge, and I like listening to people's stories. But that's a big one. I apologize in my past if it seems like I was being mean. I was just joking around. You know who you are, whoever, if this has happened to you and me, But let's see. Don't have revenge on your mind. Like if an ex breaks up with you or something, or you lose a friend, don't go like make them feel bad or something. Just move on. It sucks. It really does. But just move on. It's hard to move on, but do your best to move on at least. Don't go posting pictures with someone else saying, "Oh, they were always a better friend than you, always a better girlfriend or something." I don't know, but don't have revenge. I always wanted it. Yeah, I probably wanted it on a lot of people, but no, now I just accept the fact that it happened. I'm happy that happened. Trying to think if there's anything else. Without any confidence at all, you're not really gonna, you're not gonna do much better if you don't have any confidence in yourself. You're always like, oh, I failed this, I'll always be dumb. If you keep telling yourself that, it might just keep happening. You might keep failing, but if you're like, you know what, this is hard and I got a chance, I can redo this and fix it, then that's better. I'll be honest, I post a lot of motivational stuff on my story that I find helping, but sometimes it's hard to even motivate myself. Like every morning when I get up for school, I'm like, oh, I don't want to get up for school. But then I realize I'm like, I'm at a good school. I don't really do a lot in my day. I'm kind of just chilling, and life is good. I don't feel like it when I wake up, but it doesn't mean I hate my life. Sometimes I'll say I hate my life, but I literally don't. I actually really like it. That's more just me just kidding. When I'm about to trade somebody or something, I'll be like, I hate my life, but the opposite, I don't hate my life. But I'm trying to think if anything else covers it. I think that about covers it, but respect people. Even if they don't necessarily respect you or aren't always the nicest to you, just know they might come from some different. They might have had a rough life, rough past. I don't know, but don't always hate people. Don't even hate people. I would always say, oh, I hate that person, but I didn't actually hate them. I just didn't like everything about them, but nowadays I say the word hate, but I don't mean the word hate. Sometimes I'll say words and I don't actually mean them, but like it's kind of just my way of abbreviating it to people. I'll say, "Oh, that girl's hot," but I don't actually like using the word hot. I just usually say pretty or beautiful or something. That's just the slang. People gotta use slang all the time. I don't know why. I mean, I do use it sometimes, but it's because people use it so much I get used to it. But yeah, I think that about covers it for today. But I'm gonna try and do an episode maybe before Christmas talking about my best presents is what I'm hoping to do. I won't spoil any of my presents, but I've got some pretty good Christmas presents. I'll show some of my best. I think that'll be next. Hopefully I'll do that soon. I'll be in my festive Christmas stuff. I tried to look a little festive with my flannel on. This is my new favorite hat. I actually only got it for like $15. Pretty sweet. I wanted a hat for March Madness because not always my teams make it. Ohio State basketball, not always the best. And UNC, my boys, they're always pretty good. But there's some years they don't make it, or sometimes they don't play that day. So I want to wear this on the day of March Madness when they don't play or something. But don't worry, I'll be wearing Carolina blue when they win the national championship this year. Caleb Wilson, woo! Go Tar Heels. I've explained I've been a Tar Heels fan since I was just a kid. But yeah. Before I start yapping about some random crap, like always, I'll close it down here. Yeah. I appreciate all the support. It's been pretty awesome. I'm happy with how life's going. Maybe, actually, sorry, I just thought something. Maybe I'll do best presents, and maybe I'll do a review of what I got for Christmas this year. We'll find out. But these next few weeks, I'll try and think of more. I'm not necessarily running out of ideas, but sometimes, I need a little boost. But, yeah. I guess I'll see y'all later. Take care, everybody.